Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Daily Democracy Report. Today is May 6, 2025. It is a Tuesday, and today let's talk about before I get to that, let's do please like and subscribe. And if you'd like to support the channel, please go to buymeacoffee.com/the Daily Democracy Report, or click on the QR tag down on the left corner. You can also follow us at Blue Sky, and you can find all the information at the ticker at the bottom of the screen. So there you go. All the housekeeping out of the way on today's show. We're going to talk about the trade war. It's starting to impact things. We're going to talk a little bit about that, how it's affecting the country, and, what's even exports, what's happening with exports right now. So we're going to talk about a little bit about that. I also want to talk about Trump wanting to post some AI-generated photos of himself, thinking that that's fun. We're going to talk about that. And the final, we got a little clip from the Lincoln Project I wanted to show. An advertisement, if you will, that I think is very good and very smart. So let's start off with the first clip I have today. And this is talking about the imports from China coming in. Some big news on that. And I wanted to kind of just share this with you. Let me just play it and we'll talk about it on the other side.
The executive director at the Port of Los Angeles has warned that shipping volume from China will plummet this week. He joins me now to discuss. Gene Soroka and Justin Wolfers is here, a professor of economics and public policy at the University of Michigan. Gene, tell us what you've seen so far, because I know you've already said that a number of major American retailers, the big guys, have stopped shipments from China altogether.
Good evening, Steph. What we're seeing is that about 20% of the normally scheduled vessel arrivals for the month of May have been canceled. This week in particular, the cargo is extremely light, about 35% lower than the same time last year.
So for your average person who's saying cargo ships, how does that affect me? What is that going to mean when they go to their small store in their hometown or a big box store next week or the week after?
Well, from the last segment, you hit it on the nail on the head, Steph. We've got about 125,000 importing companies that call the Port of Los Angeles home every year. No one has more than a 5% share. So it's the small to medium-sized folks that didn't have the opportunity to stock up on inventory before this day of tariffs hit. Now they're in the middle of the crosshairs saying, either I buy at these exorbitant prices, 2.5 times more what they were just last month, and I can't pass on that cost to keep up with the big guys.
So yeah, I'm going to stop it there for this clip anyway. It is a lot less coming in, only because, like he said, a lot of the big box guys stocked up on their inventory before these tariffs hit. They were able to do that because they had cash, they had money. They could overbuy before these tariffs kicked in. Small, medium-sized businesses can't afford that, and we've covered that in previous shows, going back the last few weeks, of these small companies that just they have products sitting on the dock in China that they can't afford to pay the import fees for, or the export fees, I guess would be, because it's just way too expensive. So they're just letting it sit on the dock until they can actually afford it, or their business closes because they run out of inventory. So a big deal, and this is starting to hit. We're starting to see it. It's going to be, I believe they said, somewhere around like 4 to 6 weeks of inventory before we start seeing things that are disappearing, and less choice at the store of what you can and cannot buy. And also with prices possibly going up, maybe a lot of the big box stores may be able to absorb that cost initially. But as this progresses and as this goes on, it's just going to get steadily worse and worse and worse. And, starting almost as soon as, the next month, we might start seeing and hearing a lot of these small businesses that are starting to go out of business because they just cannot afford to keep up. And like we also talked about before, there's companies that operate solely like at Amazon that are, small business. They get most, if not all of their product from China. Definitely huge impacts there. And like I said, you're going to start to see a lot less choices, and prices will start to go up. So not good. But that's not the only bad thing as a result of this. Because as you remember, there's not only tariffs on stuff coming in, but there's tariffs on stuff going out as well. So this next clip talks a little bit about the exports and just an idea of kind of what maybe you didn't think of as part of this whole trade war.
Gene, from your perspective, is there anything that could turn this around in the short term?
Absent getting together with trading nations and crafting these framework deals that the administration is talking about, no, I don't see any change. On the export side, the American farmer is getting hammered. Here in California's Central Valley, whether it's almonds, walnut handlers, they're not selling. And just in the month of March, Steph, Brazil sold more soybeans to China than ever in their history. Lower trade barriers and favorable exchange rates.
So that's another really interesting point that he made there. I think I had a couple. No, that was it on that one. But yeah, interesting points that he made there, because now we're starting to see, and maybe this is a one-off. I don't think so, but maybe we're starting to see China making deals with these other countries that they can get product from. There's a lot of countries out there that do soybeans. They don't have to get it from us. They can get it from whoever. There's a lot of things like that China imports that doesn't necessarily need the United States for that. There's a lot of other countries that produce the same kind of things that we export as well. So they're on, I think, a better side of this whole deal than we are. They're under no pressure to really come to the table, so long as they can make deals with other countries and, be able to import whatever they need from other countries instead of the United States. So I think in this case, we are way more dependent on them than they are on us, which means that eventually Trump's going to have to do something to either lower these tariffs on China and start importing again, or having to bring President Xi to the table and say, hey, look, we gotta talk. But at this point, it doesn't look like that China's, coming to the table or needs to come to the table at this point. So a lot of interesting things going on with the tariffs. And I think in the next couple weeks, as he said, 4 to 6 weeks, we're going to start seeing some impacts. I think we'll start seeing impacts in the small, medium-sized businesses sooner than that, but we'll see. Obviously, farmers are starting to struggle now with exports, so hopefully something can get done to help them out. A lot of chaos as far as that goes. So among all this stuff, let's see, what do we have here? Let's see. Yeah, okay. So this is from the Meet the Press article here. So this is Trump talking with Kristen Welker again about prices going up, and he's not really doesn't really seem all that concerned. So so let's play this clip here.
Some prices are going up. Tires, strollers, some clothing in the wake of your tariffs.
Excuse me, that's peanuts compared to energy. Energy is 60% of the cost.
But sir, you
energy is the big.
You campaigned on a promise to bring prices down on day.
Well, I don't know. When
one.
You say strollers are going up, what kind of a thing? I'm saying.
All right. So immediately he discounts things that people are going to need like all the time, right? Like everyday kind of items. Like maybe a stroller is maybe not the best example, right? But still, discounting that to say that other things are more important is kind of missing the point.
That gasoline is going down. Gasoline is thousands of times more important than a stroller someplace.
But what do you say to Americans who say they voted for you because they want and they need relief right now?
And they're getting it.
right now? What about those
even mortgage rates?
different items I just
mortgage
mentioned?
rates are going down, despite the fact that we have a stubborn Fed.
But you said even dolls could cost a couple bucks more.
Maybe they might, but you don't need to have, as I said, $35. You can have 2, 3, 4, and save a lot of money. We don't need to feed the beast.
I guess you're talking about this transition cost. How long should people expect that transition to last, Mr. President?
I can't tell
I
you
don't
that.
know.
I
I
can
can't tell you.
that.
It was supposed to be a day, right? When costs were going to come down. Day one, costs were going to start coming down. Now he's dictating what's important to consumers and what isn't important to consumers. So everybody tighten up your belt is what he's saying, because the things that I find important are the things that are going to make big companies richer, and you guys are going to be struggling.
We're making a lot of money. We're doing great.
So, yeah, that's funny. It's not funny. But the thing that he's missing is, somebody might need a stroller, or they might want to buy even the baby thing is kind of a ridiculous argument, but just saying, like, energy prices, say gasoline. What if somebody doesn't own a car, but they have a child that needs a stroller? Just think of every circumstance that you possibly can as to, the prices did not have to come up to begin with. That's the point. The point is that people are struggling for what? For what purpose and what reason? Is this all going to shake out and all of a sudden everybody's going to be so freaking prosperous and so much money is going to pour in because of these tariffs? It's yet to be proven. It's yet to be seen. This has been tried before and it's failed. So what is the end game here? Just to say that, everything's fine, energy is where it's at, and fuel prices and all this stuff is great. Yeah, maybe those prices are dropping, but maybe people don't necessarily need those prices to drop as much as they would like things that are, more affordable to them, like groceries and, products for their households. And, the fact that mortgage rates, he said, are going down. Well, I don't know if that's actually true or not, but even if it is, I don't know if everybody's going to run out right now to want to buy a house if they're struggling to try to keep food on the table. So just the priorities are out of whack, it seems. And this is not what, in my opinion, what his supporters or what the American people voted for. So just completely out of touch. And, which goes into my next clip probably here. So this one's pretty interesting. We're just going to play it because you can't make this stuff up. Let's play a clip here.
Donald Trump apparently thinks it is really cute to pretend that he could be the next pope. So much so, he posted this AI image of himself as the pontiff, and doing it while the Vatican and the Catholic world are still in mourning. It is a move that any other politician or public figure would be vilified for. The Catholic bishops of New York State were not amused, saying, quote, "There is nothing clever or funny about this image, Mr. President. Do not mock us." The president was asked about the post at the White House earlier.
I had nothing to do with it. Somebody made up a picture of me dressed like the Pope, and they put it out on the internet. That's not me that did it. I have no idea where it came from. Somebody did it in fun. It's fine. Have to have a little fun.
A little fun. Again, any other public figure, politician would be vilified. The whole episode seems like another, though, in a long line of would-be contradictions or offenses that his religious supporters shrug off. Joining us now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if this was Joe Biden doing this, oh my gosh, they would be erecting the gallows outside of the White House right now. The MAGA people, all the January 6ers would be back out there again trying to hang the president or something if he did something like that, saying, oh my gosh, how can you disgrace the church like that by making yourself look like the Pope? Yeah, it's so two-sided. People don't give him a pass for stupid shit like this. I mean, it's not okay. It's just not. no matter who you are, no matter, you're the president of the United States. And it's like, well, I didn't make that picture. Somebody else did. Well, that's fine. Somebody else can do that, but don't post it on your official Truth Social page or, repost it there. That's just ridiculous and stupid. So, but it gets even, well, I'm not sure this is better, but here's another example of Trump being just a moron.
Much has been made over the last few days of the AI image President Trump posted of himself as the Pope. And now another image is going around, allegedly posted by the White House on May the 4th, showing Trump as a muscular Jedi with a lightsaber. And it's also legit. The official White House X and Instagram accounts posted the AI-generated image yesterday. The post calls the president's political opponents Sith Lord.
So let me read that. Happy May the 4th to all, including the radical left lunatics who are fighting so hard to bring Sith Lords, murderers, drug lords, dangerous prisoners, and well-known MS-13 gang members back into our galaxy. You're not the rebellion, you're the empire. May the 4th be with you. This is a unifying statement, apparently, through the Trump White House.
Which are evildoers in Star Wars. But fans of the Star Wars universe point out Trump is depicted holding a red lightsaber, which is normally only used by villains from the dark side, such as Darth Vader. The good guys typically use blue or green sabers. If you would like to submit...
Yeah, so, I mean, come on, Trump. I mean, you're saying that, only, that the left is bringing in all these Sith Lords, and you're holding a lightsaber depicting yourself as a Sith Lord. Yeah, you're an idiot, dude. You are so... You probably don't even understand what that means. Well, you don't, obviously, because you're just an idiot. And the people that are around you are idiots for allowing this to occur. I mean, this is not fun and game time. This is, you're the president of the United States. You're supposed to be unifying everybody. You're the president not just for MAGA. You're not the president just for Republicans. You're the president for everybody. And you go out of your way to prove the fact that you're not. It's despicable. It's beneath the office. Just resign and get the hell out. Well, just ridiculous. Okay, but we're going to play another clip here. This is from awesome people from the Lincoln Project. Go to the Lincoln Project on YouTube and check out all their videos. Really, really great stuff. And I'm going to keep featuring them on here because I think it's just great. Just a note, I'm not affiliated with the Lincoln Project at all. But I love their content and I want to bring it to you. So to draw you to them, because I think this is brilliant. Here we go.
Stephen Miller designed it. Donald Trump demanded it. Kristi Noem and Holman ordered you to do it. Illegal deportations, mass raids, rounding up people who are here legally, arresting citizens, family separations, snatching students off the street for tweeting, detention without hearings, shipping them to foreign prisons, deportations defying court orders. When government agents like you abuse your power, when you trample civil and constitutional rights, you can be held personally liable in civil court. You can lose everything, and Trump can't pardon you. That includes ICE, that includes CBP, contractors, DOJ, even the White House. Yep, every last Trump official pulling the strings. Even, well, especially the lawyers. If you think you're safe behind badges and titles, you're wrong. You do a hard, dangerous job. You're vital to our security. But what they have you doing now isn't law enforcement. It's just lawless, and you'll pay the price for following illegal orders.
Great stuff. Yeah, let me keep it going there. LincolnProject.us. You can go to their website as well. Brilliant stuff. Great stuff. We're not going to stop talking about the immigration issue as well here. And these, so far, the way that they are performing this is the legality is extremely, extremely questionable. It's actually probably illegal what they're doing. I'm pretty sure it is anyway. but it's just insane the what the president, what this administration is asking these federal agents to do. And I guess the gist of this message is, if you're a federal agent, you can probably say you'll probably lose your job, but stand up for what's right. Stand up for our Constitution if nobody else will. You're the last line there. You're the low man on the totem pole that's doing the dirty work. So anyway, won't talk more about that. I think the video spoke for itself. Very good stuff. And I think that's about all I have for today. So another relatively short one today, but gets the points across, I think. Lots more news going on. There's just too much for me to organize to be able to bring to you daily. But tomorrow we'll be back for another dose of our Trump reality that we currently live in. So thanks again for watching. Really do appreciate it. Please do hit that like and subscribe button, and would greatly appreciate if you did that, especially the like, as it does help the algorithm and draws other people to content like this. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you later. Be good to each other, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks again. Bye-bye.